It's a poison. That doesn't help the stress level. No, don't do it. Get a grip. This stupid video I just showed you. I almost stroked out and died over it. You're watching a different show. You donkey. You ain't a captain of nothing but a sinking ship. Don't do this to me, Harry. The Ohio State. It's Ohio State. What do you mean, the? 312-988-15.
Hello?
You tell Johnny all you've heard and seen. Sometimes it's good to just yell about football. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Welcome in, welcome back, folks, on a feel-good Friday. We're here with you. I gotta tell you, we're gonna balance things out around here today. I'm gonna be completely fair. Crying Belly's gonna like it. Andrew Gilmore's gonna like it. We're going right down the middle on this thing. And there's some Notre Dame nuance. There's some like there always is. There's some Notre Dame nuance. But I'm gonna be as fair as possible with some of this we're going over today. Gonna have to have a little bit of a shorter show, probably run about an hour. I got a lot to do. We're going to Florida next week. There's a lot of stuff going on. So and we'll give you the schedule, what that's gonna look like when I'm gone. But I'm gonna be completely fair. What was the damage at the high school? I drove by. The roof on the gym collapsed. It's totally ruined. The school is like a circle with a few different floors to it in a weird circular kind of structure. The hail was blowing sideways and went right through those windows. So all those windows in the circle part are destroyed. And then the gym roof collapsed and there's water everywhere. The whole thing's messed up. So yeah, it's just, and then it's weird when you drive around town now, half the people driving around town have tarps or like garbage bags duct taped to their windows because if you were in the wrong spot, they all got busted or totally shattered out. It's the weirdest thing, man. You'll drive by these car dealerships. One of them, totally fine, nothing. One block down the street, every single car has a busted windshield and dents everywhere. I can't even imagine the nightmare of these car dealerships having to deal with every single car on their lot being destroyed. Hope you got good insurance. I don't know how that all works, but that's kind of the magic of nature, you guys. Every once in a while, it's really important for humans to be reminded that we are not in control of things as much as we like to think we are. With AI and everything else in the world, there's still certain things we don't have power over. A tornado is one of those. A hurricane's another one. And you know what else? This is why I value and respect the ocean. From a distance. I already went over that I almost drowned and eaten by a shark and all that stuff. And if anybody wants the story another time, I'll tell it. But that's why I have a deep respect for the ocean, but I want it to be from a distance. From me on the shore or like half of my leg in it. That's about as far as I'm willing to go in that stupid ocean, all right? I ain't an ocean guy, man. Doesn't matter how much time I spent in Florida or not. Not an ocean guy, I don't think. Although my death experience was in California, and that's a whole... If I ain't built for Florida, I'm double not built for no California living. I'll tell you that right now. So, thanks for being here. Really appreciate it. We're going to get into some of this stuff. I'm going to give you some balance. Got a couple of people I want to jump in here. And then I'll probably get into my thing. I want to get you guys going here. A couple chats. First off, do it, subscribe. I don't know. Most of you are not new here. Hit subscribe, give the video a thumbs up, notifications on. That way you don't miss nothing. Twitter, search bar, Always Irish Rat, Always Irish Inc. Emails, alwaysirishnd@gmail.com. Audio only, anywhere you want it. You can get it if you don't want to look at my stupid face. Nobody blames you. Go to the audio only. Notre Dame on SI. Rita, let the dogs. Got to get the dogs. The dog days of summer are coming. I ain't looking forward to it. I am not looking forward to this summer. It is going to be the grind of all grinds. I'm not looking forward to it. Phil says scuba diving in the Caribbean reefs is amazing. Okay, yeah, famous last words, bro. I tried to go scuba. That's where I was. One time, not the one in California, but I went scuba diving off some, it ain't for me, off some cruise ship. Oh, then you go on this rickety little raft with the motor out in the middle of nowhere. We dump you in there, and we just hope you get back to the boat. Bro, I'm from Illinois. I need more direction than that. I'm from Illinois. You can't just trust me to throw me off a boat in the middle of the Caribbean. What do I look like, Captain Jack Sparrow? Son of a buck on this stuff. They're just like, oh, jump in there, come back to the boat in an hour. Oh, hope you don't get, what? Hope a shark doesn't eat you. Hope you don't get caught in a rip current or whatever. People need to, you need to be more scared. People need to be more scared of the ocean than they are. They got to be more scared of the ocean than they are. Okay. Did you see that crab guy died? You know that show where they show the crab boats out there rocking around. One of them deckhands fell off, got tangled in the net, in the cage with the bait in the net, and it went over, and he went, and he's gone. He's gone. Just like the guy that jumped off the cruise ship I was on. He gone. Hawk Harrelson, he gone. I get off that ship, the media's there. What happened? The guy jumped off the 10th floor in the middle of the night at full speed. What do you think happened? He gone. Giant crabs, that sounds unappealing to me in a lot of ways, okay? Stop letting fear run your life. Live. There's a fine balance. You know what the worst advice of all time is? I'm glad you brought this up. You know what the worst advice of all time is? Live every day like it's your last. Well, then I'll have no money and I'll be in jail or dead. Worst advice you could ever give. Live every day like it's your last. Well, then I'm going to do a whole bunch of irresponsible shit. It is the worst advice you could ever give anybody. Live every life like it's your, live every day like it's your last. It will be my last if I think it that way. Andrew, I agree. Don't do anything that stresses you out on vacation, especially if you're paying a lot of money for it. Was in Mexico City over Christmas. Many people do hot air balloons by the pyramids. Oh, don't get me. Do you know how many YouTube compilations I've seen of a hot air balloon going into wires, just like going into space and never coming back? You're going to end up like Dorothy and the Wizard of Oz, going to have a witch after you. You keep this up. Son of a buck on the vacation stuff. Anyways, that is the worst advice. Live every day like it's your worst. I'm going to get in a whole lot of trouble then. And then guess what? I'm probably not going to die. And then what? Horrible advice. I hate it. I hate it. So let's get through a couple chats. I'm going to bring a couple of you guys up. Then I'll get into my balance. Oh, we'll get to this in the chats. There's something I want to go over. Mark, when Freeman was asked about, this is a big topic of discussion on the Patreon chat. When Freeman was asked about running back yesterday, he said, if you look at the body of work of Aeneas, the plays he was in the last 2 years have been very productive. When he was in there, very productive, made some big plays for us. A reminder, like before the world sees what our guys do on Saturday. Yeah, listen. I think Aeneas is going to get the bulk of the carries. But I really believe you're going to have a younger guy here, Keydron, Nolan, somebody, pop up that adds a new dynamic to a new 1-2 punch. That's my prediction. And it isn't going to be Love and Price, because I think that's generational, and you just don't replenish. The next guy up turns into that dynamic. I don't expect it to be that, but I think you could have Aeneas and then some pop from one of the younger guys that creates a new 1-2 dynamic that we like. That's my prediction. So we'll see what happens. WPP had him under 50 carries, and he's going to get more than 50. If he's healthy, he's going to get more than 50. He's too reliable. Like, I do think that. Andrew. BK is the gift that keeps giving for the ND media. People have asked me, John, you going to let what he said about leaving Notre Dame slide? Where's your video? It's coming out tomorrow morning, and I held off for a very specific reason that I'm not at liberty to discuss. I've had that video made a few days. There are reasons I didn't put it out right away. It's going to go out first thing tomorrow morning. You will not be able to miss it. Wait till you see the thumbnail. And I'm going at the guy harder than ever because he deserves it more than ever. He doesn't get it. He never will get it. He never got it, and he doesn't want to get it. The guy is disconnected from all levels of self-awareness. It's almost unbelievable. Almost unbelievable. But if you think for one damn second I'm going to be the guy that doesn't report on it, you're out of your mind. Wake up tomorrow morning and enjoy the video. He's that toxic ex you can't get rid of. I'm going to push back on this hard. The toxic ex you can't get enough of, you at least enjoyed your time with. You had fun with. That's why you can't get enough of them, because it was fun in the moment. That is not how I would describe the Brian Kelly experience. So I don't think it's like that. There were at least things that appealed to me about my toxic exes, even though you always had to sleep with one eye open, wondering if they're going to rob your place or freak out on you or themselves. At least there were some fun times. Toxic, yes. Renee, $10 holler. Been here since 6. Stock 300, block mix, 50 gallons of mud, and made. And the crew doesn't even start till 7:30. Just kicking a whole lot of ass, but not as much as Notre Dame's going to do this year. I'm going to say it again. I have so much respect for these guys that actually, with their hands, build the country we live in, while some moron, simple-minded guy like me sits in a basement and talks to people about football. So that's a real man. That's a real man. He's a man. He's 40, and he's moving that concrete. Mark, I'm going to skip filling out a bracket this year, and I'm not celebrating Selection Sunday for another year. Thanks a lot, Shrewsbury. Tell you, I don't do a bracket. I don't follow basketball. I don't care about basketball. Oh, you should do a bracket anyway. Then I'm just picking random things. I've watched 0 college basketball games this year. None. 0. Don't care. Doesn't matter. Boring. It doesn't do it for me. I'll watch the brackets. I'll watch the March Madness, but I don't care at all. I don't care at all. Caden, morning, Irish fans and Johnny. We're close to planning season. Spring football camp is looking good. Caden's out there. He's working in the fields, man. He's working out there with his hands, too. Sid says, you're our hero, Johnny. Well, you need to reevaluate the people you look up to. Somebody says BK really is the gift keeps on giving. He has a complete lack of awareness of the things he says and how they are going to come off. Total lack of self-awareness on all levels. He just doesn't get it. He's never going to get it. And he doesn't want to get it. So that's it, man. That's where I'm at on it. Domer guy, then the doc. What's going on, Domer?
Hey, what's going on, buddy?
Oh, not much, man. I'm ready for spring ball to start. I need football.
I am right there with you, man. But this off season, like I need it. It's so exciting with everything we have coming back this year, and it's just nice to get out of the everyday freak show, you know?
Yeah, there is a little period right when the season ends that I think everybody needs a little breather and a little break from the minute to minute stress of in the season Notre Dame. But that fades quickly, and then we're all like, okay, when's football coming back? At least that's for me, anyways.
That's usually how I am, but this off season has been particularly I'm enjoying it just because I'm calling my shot this year. You know me. I'm usually always really critical on Notre Dame, and I'm really hesitant on saying anything positive as far as what they're going to do nationally. Uh, 11 wins, 12 wins. I'm hesitant on that. This year, I'm calling my shot. I'm telling you, get your queen ready. We're going to win a natty this year. I promise you, we're going to win a natty. I'm putting a few.
It all feels like it lines up with the staff, with Freeman not being the new guy, with the schedule, with the talent. You got a quarterback being talked about for the Heisman. Like, it's, you add in Lou and winning one for his memory. Like, it all lines up, but that's in our minds. They got to go prove it on the field, man. It's make it or break it. Year 5, you got to prove it on the field.
They do, but like you said, it sure does feel like the stars are all aligning. And I remember my pop told me a long time ago that that's pretty much what needs to happen for Notre Dame to win a chip. And with Lou and the snub and just the talent on the roster, Carr is a huge part of it. I mean, a couple weeks ago in Patreon, we were all trying to talk ourselves out of thinking that Carr is a good quarterback for some reason. And that Miami game, I think a lot of people forget Carr was the reason we were in that game. I think when the lights are the brightest, that kid plays his best ball. And I think we're in for a show when it comes to Carr this year. And with that being said, I don't know if he goes pro after this year, no matter how he does this season. Have you looked at the draft class for next year as far as the quarterback position goes?
Not extensively.
Take a look at that once. You have Arch Manning coming out. There's 4 or 5
and
arguably first-round quarterbacks.
Dante, he's got to be in that. Isn't he about to have one more year?
Yes, sir. Dante Moore. Arch Manning, just to name it, I can't name them all right now, but it is a deep draft class, and I would not be surprised one bit if Carr's back in South Bend after this year, even if we have a deep run in the playoff or win a title.
Here's something really interesting. Goolsby's asked me personally on the Patreon. He's brought this up. All this Notre Dame title hype. How much of that is because of Carr? Or how much of it is because of like the team overall and the belief in each? I think it's both, and both feed into one another. There's belief in the quarterback, which makes you believe in the whole thing overall because quarterback's most important position. And there's also belief in the roster and the program overall, and Carr's a part of it. So I think those things work together.
I would agree with that, but I think look at it this way. Imagine Carr wasn't coming back and imagine Carr wasn't our quarterback. I mean, I guess you wouldn't know how Minchie would have done last year, but given how Carr did, I just think that there's more excitement with Carr than there is the rest of the roster, even though the rest of the roster is damn good.
Yeah.
It's been a long time since we've had a quarterback play like Carr did last year and then come back. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Well, isn't it the first time you have a returning starting quarterback since the Ian Book era? Correct? It's been a while.
Correct. But even then, Carr or Ian Book, who are you choosing?
Yeah. Yeah. Who
are you more excited about?
That offense specifically, there's a lot of potential, but a lot of it is unproven, man. What are you doing with tight end? How do those new running backs do? Where does the O-line end up settling? What are these wide receivers? Did the Ohio State guys, are they contributors from day one that make that a dangerous group up a couple notches? Like, those are real questions.
A lot of people talk about running back. I think there's this offseason, the biggest topic for discussion as far as the roster goes and maybe weakest positions. And I think it's because Love and Price went to the draft and they were so good. But I think a lot of it hinges on the running back position. I disagree with that. I think it's wide receiver. I think wide receiver is the biggest question on this team. And I think rightfully so. There's a bunch of unproven guys outside of Faison, and you've talked about it. Outside of Faison, there's zero proof that we have to go by that this wide receiver group is capable of being national title contenders.
Yeah. Yeah. And also there's a little streak here of a lot of cycles of the Notre Dame wide receiver group getting really hyped up and then underperforming when it actually came time. Like that all needs to change, man. I want to see it to believe it. And I think the schedule helps it. I'm not Andrew, settle down. I'm not overlooking Wisconsin. I'm just saying it's not starting with Miami or starting with A&M. That should be a big advantage. Notre Dame should be able to ease into this season without being perfect while collecting wins. And if they can't, then this is all a failure and we're going to have a different discussion, period.
If they can't, there's a problem. If Notre Dame, if we don't come out, and no offense to Wisconsin, but Wisconsin is give me game. We should be able to sleepwalk against Wisconsin. I don't care. I don't care what the hype that this team is getting and the hype that this team deserves with the blue chip ratio between the two programs. And I understand that NIU happened, but it never should have happened. Marshall should have never happened. Stanford should have never happened. Those things did happen. And if Wisconsin does somehow upset Notre Dame, that's a coaching miscue. That has nothing to do with talent. That's a coaching miscue. And
here's the part of it. Whatever you did to evaluate yourself in August heading into last year was not good and wasn't the right process because you ended up with guys that couldn't play that were out there that cost us an 0-2 start. If you do it again, it's coaching. It's a coaching failure. I don't care if it risks injury and they don't want to do it or not. You got to one-on-one best on best test all this more in August, figure out who could play or not. You have to change something with that.
100%. And it's kind of alarming. As much hype as me personally, I give Freeman. The NFL obviously seems interested in the guy. It's just kind of alarming to see that happen last year. Like Tay Johnson should have been playing in Miami week 1. I just don't understand what they've seen in practice. And that was a big mistake on his part.
Goolsby always talks about some of these coaches default to experience, even if a guy's less talented, they default to experience sometimes with the secondary, especially because it's like you put a rookie out there, he gets baited and takes one wrong step and boom, you're toast and you're done. Like a lot of times coaches will do that, but we learned it just doesn't work that way.
Yeah. I'm just I'm so excited about this year. It has been I don't even know if Holtz's last year. I cannot remember, and I've said this over the past couple of years, John, ironically enough, and I can't remember a roster being this packed. Can you really in your lifetime?
No, maybe somebody's going to argue some of those Lou rosters were really good, but everything was evaluated a little differently back then. Like, so somebody with the knowledge who was alive and an adult then could talk to me about the actual talent level on those good Holtz teams. But in the modern era, there is absolutely no doubt to me, this is by far the most talent in the program we've ever had in the modern era, for sure. It's not even a doubt. I'm talking roster, top to bottom athletes.
The blue chip ratio roster, this is the most talented team that I can remember in my 42 years. Well, and
I know we're about the exact same age. Then put up or shut up time. The schedule's there. Heisman level quarterback, no excuses. It's got to be a big year.
Johnny boy, I'm telling you, get your Queen record ready. Everybody in the chat, get your Queen record ready. That is my saying of this offseason into the season. We're going to be playing Queen, baby. I promise you.
Oh man, dude, I have dreams about it. Having a party with all the Always Irish people, and that song is the soundtrack to it. I like once a month I'll have that dream.
Hey, John, I love your show. And that's all I wanted to say. I do have a couple more tidbits for you though. In Florida,
Yeah.
get your feet in the ocean a little bit, bud.
I will do that, but I ain't going where I can't touch. I ain't going where I can't touch. I'm an Illinois person, okay? So
Hey,
I'll go in there, but only where I could touch. That's my new rule.
Hey, I'm actually the exact same way. I have 3 small children, so when we go to Destin every year, and whenever we go to the ocean, we don't go past the knees. That's about as far as we go. And also, John, I know you're a big food critic. Also, while you're in Florida, stop by a stand and get you some boiled peanuts.
All right, I could try that. That's not too intimidating. I've had gator bites. I know that surprises people. I've had a gator bite appetizer. That's about as exotic as I get.
I brought them up a couple weeks ago in the chat, and you mentioned what is a boiled peanut? Well, imagine a noodle raw. Okay, you know how it's crunchy, and it's the same way with a raw peanut. It's crunchy, but then you cook it, and it's just tender and saltier.
Oh, interesting. Even I think I could handle that. I could get down with that. And I do want to add on the way out here. I have some bad experiences in the ocean. This is not random. Like I almost drowned and got eaten by a shark once. And then I go on a cruise and another guy jumps off and passes away on the cruise. Like I am limited ocean experience, but the ones I've had some bad ones.
Well, that makes me understand it a little bit more. Then I can understand if you had some trauma. That's understandable.
Yeah, but I'm an Illinois person, so me and the ocean were just not meant to be. Hey, thanks for jumping in on a Friday. Good start to the show, man.
Hey, no problem, man. I'll be seeing you guys at the Blue and Gold tailgate. I can't wait.
Oh, hell yes. Have a good one, buddy. WTF, John. Yeah, I told that story, man. My flipper came off, water in my blowhole when I was snorkeling or whatever. Sharks below me. I almost drowned in the Pacific. Nobody I was with was near me or cared. I honestly thought I was going to drown or get eaten for a second, or one and then the other. And then, oh, John, take a cruise. It'll be relaxing, they say. Yeah, till the guy jumps off in the middle of the ocean. We're bobbing around for all night looking for him. Everybody's panicking. It was the last night going home, so everybody missed their flight home. Just a nightmare. Just a total nightmare. Dr. John.
Hello, John.
How are you, my friend?
I'm falling apart.
Yeah. Mentally or physically or both?
Well, I told you I have this pinched nerve. So they x-rayed me on Tuesday. I got an MRI a week from today. So, but more important, first of all, I didn't check the whole chat. How's Tom doing? Do you know how far he's doing?
Yeah, I texted him yesterday and last night. I think he's doing okay. He said he was doing a little better, hoping to get out of the hospital soon. I think he has some reoccurring issue that flares up sometimes that puts him in the lockdown. But he did think he was trending up, which is good.
Oh, good. Well, I promised you some news about the Rice tailgate, but first, you're not going to leave the basement today, I hope. I know I'm not leaving my house because, well, you know what day it is, right?
Yeah, you're just asking for trouble. Yeah, asking for trouble.
I already spilled salt. I know my daughter's black cat's going to show up here at some time today. So yeah. I ain't going anywhere today.
It's a good idea.
No way.
It's a good idea.
The last preliminary. We got a damn good lacrosse team again.
Yeah, we do.
They're number one. So
yeah.
So of course it's on the ACC network on Sunday, and I don't get it. So I'll have to show up at a bar at 10 in the morning, but I'm capable of doing that. So
yeah, they'll twist your arm to pull that off, right?
Yeah. Anyway, Rice. When I talked to you the last time, somebody in chat, when I went back to chat and looked at it, said, "Are we going to get another performance?" Okay. Well, The writing is done. I've done the writing. And now I've got a problem with the performers.
Mm.
They're negotiating hard.
Yeah.
They figure I stiffed them last time.
Yeah.
I mean, I gave them 50% to split among the three of them, but
just so you know, you guys could just show up and drink a couple beers. You don't have to put on a Broadway play here every time you come to one of my events.
Oh, no, it's an ego trip for me if I can write some lyrics, for crying out loud. And I'm so proud of those daughters. I like to show them off too. So anyway, we'll have something. We'll have something. I'm on track to be at the Blue and Gold tailgate. I'm just hoping my college roommate is able to come. Yeah. He's battling with some stuff that's a little scary. So anyway, now, okay, football. Here's some bad news for everybody in the Notre Dame family. You have to realize that the universe is out to get me. Okay? And all this stuff, all this hype, all this number one, the universe has just set me up. It's just set me up. You know, if I'm still breathing by the time the season comes along, I know it's going to get me. So everybody just watch out.
I think that's the game being played in our minds. It's like usually it's a sleeper Notre Dame team. If these 5 things come together, they could compete. Like we have our internal hopes, the Notre Dame media and fan base. This is a different vibe. It's the first time in the modern era I remember Notre Dame being considered one of the favorites, probably going back to 2006, where we were number 2 preseason. I believe Georgia was number 1. I don't remember Notre Dame being thought of this way in the modern era. Does it change? You know, you're not the chaser. You're one of the expected ones. And I wonder what that dynamic's going to play out.
Well, and it can work both ways for disaster because I don't know. Do you consider 1964 the modern era or not?
I do not.
Then I won't talk about it because I was there. But
you know, in the modern era, when Frank was running things right after World War II, we had a lot going for us.
Speaking of Frank, when he quit coaching, I know.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. All right. Do you have a portrait of him any place? I mean, in a place of honor?
Yes. Somebody brought me a framed portrait of Frank just to have on the table at the tailgates. It's awesome. So when we do a tailgate, I put my main man in the corner there on the table so everybody sees him. Yeah.
Do you know what he did after he stopped coaching, television-wise?
What he did some media, I know that.
Well, he had a show in football season where he'd pick the games, and he had this little cartoon character, Pigskin Pete or something like that, So yeah, we had to watch that every week. Every week.
46 years old, man, retired at the ripe old age of 46 from that role at Notre Dame. Unbelievable.
Well, because it was killing him.
Yeah, it literally was.
Yeah. Well, look, it's a tough job. I'm waiting for Freeman to just show up Snow White some morning,
Telling you, man.
Because Parsegian grade like crazy. So
it's a very, very unique job. There's nothing like it in America. It's one of one. It's a stressful, unique job. Doc, I'm with you on the hesitation to buy in on all the hype. Also, though, don't you admit the elements are there and they kind of line up? And then all of the tangible, Doc, the tangible football elements are there with the schedule, the roster, the coaching staff, whatever. But then you dump the Lou nostalgia on top of it. I think that's what has people like, dude, if there's going to be a year, this has got to be it.
Yeah, I went on line the other day and checked what the preseason ranking was of offense. Whatever site I was on, they rated us number 1. Defense, number 5.
Mm-hmm.
The top quarterback in the country.
Mm-hmm.
Scares the shit out of me.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's a setup. It's an Irish setup. It's the classic Irish setup.
Oh my God.
And we're all going to be in here going, how did Luke Fickell beat Notre Dame week 1? I can see it now.
Hey, are you changed your mind about Lambeau, or are you still not going to be there?
Probably not. It's
right.
too tight of a window with a lot of stuff going on and the tailgate the next week. So I just think I'm probably going to end up here, and then we'll do the tailgate.
Well, you remember we're going to Lambeau and then going right from there to Notre Dame. So
and
we're
Doc,
going to have a fun 10 days.
Here's the other thing, Doc. You know, I usually pick that first tailgate game, low-key game, good warm weather. I won't be stressing myself out because it should be a lower-level opponent, in quotes. That was my plan. Then Lou happened. Now the tone of the Rice game feels very different because it's going to honor Lou at the first home game since he's passed.
Oh, yeah.
The Rice game went from a throwaway to a wanna be there, gotta be there for a lot of people. So now, even that Rice game has juice. And then let's not even talk about the Miami tailgate. That's a whole different animal.
Yeah, if the idea was put in my head on an earlier chat by somebody, if I'm still breathing, will I fly for that Miami game? Anyway, that's not a promise or anything. But the Rice game, I don't know when my ticket forms come out, but I'm expecting I could get 8 tickets for that game.
Yeah,
I don't know about Lambeau though. That's going to be a weird one. It's our home game, but even though it's Wisconsin, people are going to be, screaming for tickets probably. So
but man, you and the family are going to have a good 10-day Notre Dame stretch.
It's going to be fun.
And you get to see Lambeau and all that stuff, and then come home to Notre Dame and then hang out with all of us. What a good little 2-week stretch.
Yeah, it should be fun. Anyway, that's it. That's all I got. So blue and gold. Who do you know that's coming regulars?
We're gonna have Goolsby's definitely gonna be there. I hope Tom Frowley could leave the city of Chicago and trust his number 2 to watch it for a day, and he could get over there. Liam's gonna be there, so Liam's coming from the morning show. Mark with glasses, obviously. We're gonna have a lot of the regulars, man. I think Andrew Gilmore's showing up for the first time. We're gonna get him in the mix. It should be good. We're gonna have and then Tony's coming, Freeman's father-in-law, he's gonna be there, so we'll get to meet up with him again. It's gonna be great.
Renee's coming, isn't he? I thought he said that.
I've got a very special, unique gift to hand deliver to Renee when he shows up. So I got something cooked for him. It's gonna be good stuff.
All right, great. Okay, have a great show, and we'll be watching on the other end.
Have a good one, man. Make sure you stay in one piece. I need you fully engaged here and alive, okay?
Well,
we're not doing a weekend at Bernie's. You better be alive, damn it.
Okay. Bye-bye.
Love you, buddy. See ya. The Rice game could at least be a little frustrating. They're entering year 2 as a full triple option team. There we go, Andrew. One more thing. Just add another log on the fire. One more thing for me to worry about. Liam, good morning.
Johnny, what's going on? You survived tornado day.
We did, man. I drove through like the neighborhood where a lot of the damage was yesterday. They're saying it was only an F3. These houses are totally flattened. It is a real reminder of nature's fury, man. Nature always wins.
When you were explaining it, you had this like comedic way about you, and it was kind of funny. But then I stumbled across a video of that tornado on YouTube, and it wasn't funny at all. It was really scary.
Yeah, and we get a decent amount of these. The sirens go off. There's a tornado, rotation. We get a lot of those. The storms usually travel the same path. I don't know what the atmospheric conditions are, but usually the tornadoes come on the same path. This was no different. And we're thinking, okay, we'll be prepared to go in the basement if we need to. We got texts from across the other side of town saying, this is a real one. This is the real deal. We just missed it, man. I caught it out of the backyard of my house. It was already by us heading to Indiana, and I could see it traveling. We just missed it, man. You got to count your blessings.
Yeah, you're right about that. If I do have a story about that, I kind of I know it was kind of like last week's news, but I was given a story about Coach Lou Holtz. If you'd like to hear it.
Certainly.
I have a friend in California, and it was his mother and father's 50th anniversary, and I think the year was 1994. And I'll email you the letters just to show you. But my friend writes a handwritten letter to Lou Holtz requesting, I think, tickets on the 50-yard line for a home Notre Dame game for his father's 50th anniversary present. And
Wow.
Lou Holtz writes a letter back to the son saying, listen, I don't work in the ticket office, so your request is impossible. But I do appreciate your fandom, and I appreciate you following Notre Dame over the years. Well, unbeknownst to the son, who was requesting tickets for his father's 50th anniversary, Lou Holtz looked up the father's address and wrote him a letter explaining how, regardless of whatever job he has, that if he had a son that would request something for his 50th wedding anniversary, that this surely was a rich man. And then at the end of the letter, he says, I hope that you and your wife spend a few minutes thanking each other for such a good job that you did raising your son.
Man.
And
That's
I thought
just so extra. Like for a head coach, that's so extra to do for a random fan.
Yeah, you don't know that your son wrote me this letter. I'm not giving you tickets, but I'm going to tip my hat to you in the role of being a great father. I think that's tremendous. And that was probably the best summation of Lou Holtz that really represents who he was as a guy.
Yeah, it's really what I've appreciated most about the time since he's passed is we all know a lot of the Notre Dame stories and our unique relationship with Lou. I've found a lot of value in learning all of the other circles Lou was in that he made a difference in that I'm less familiar with. The other coaching stops, all of the reporters and the other media that had interactions with him. Like I'm so wrapped up in Notre Dame land. It's very healthy for me to learn just how vast his reach is. And he's one of one, Liam. And I always love people in the world that are one of one and there's no one else like them. Those are special people put here for a special reason. And Lou is one of them.
Yeah, I agree. And I love hearing those stories too, because usually you hear the football, the Notre Dame stuff, but it's the outside stuff that may have made him more of a special guy.
Yeah, it's all the extras. So it's I don't know, it's bittersweet. So Liam, that leads us into our discussion about the football. I feel like Lou's passing added this feel of if there's going to be a year, this is it, damn it. Like you already knew you thought the schedule was kind of favorable. You already knew you had this quarterback. People are talking about it as the Heisman. You already know that those outlets are saying Notre Dame might have the most talent in their building of anybody in the country. And that was all there. Then you got Freeman, year 5, Liam. He ain't the new guy. There's no excuses. There's no leeway. You got to let the guy learn. We're over that. Year 5, it was all there. And then you add win one for Lou on top of it. It's going to be a long summer, Liam. I'm going to be worked up.
Well, this is the perfect script, though. You've said this many times before, right? And now that you've got Lou, who's passed away, I think, you got to, if you believe in the spirit or you believe in souls or things like that, you got to believe that if the game's on the line, something to do with Lou Holtz being in heaven is going to help us out too.
Yeah, it's you
time
would like to think, yeah, if you believe in any of that Notre Dame magic, you know what I mean, man? Like help a brother out. Maybe help us guide some extra points between the uprights or something.
Yeah, just a 30-mile-an-hour breeze when we need it the most. Something like that.
Yeah. So, but Liam, I understand the segment of people in this fan and media base that are like, are we all setting up for the biggest disappointment we've ever seen? I totally understand it. There are no guarantees here. If Notre Dame doesn't do the right things and get it all put together from week one, you're going to miss the playoff again, man. This schedule does not allow for you to go 10-2 and be hoping on the last day. No.
No, I mean, being a Notre Dame fan over the last 30 or 40 years is like going on consecutive dates with Chris Brown, right? It's just constant abuse and suffering. And you're wondering, when is that going to end? Is this the year that we win all the games that we're supposed to? The guy from 2 callers ago talks about how many blue chip recruits and athletes we have on the team. It's go time right now, right? But a lot of us are holding our breath based on 30 years of scar tissue.
Yeah, it's you're absolutely right. It's just, and the other thing is, I don't know if you were able to catch the show the other day, the last live show. Crying Belly called in and kind of questioned some of like where this is all at overall or whatever. I wrote about it this morning. His call got in my mind. Freeman's got to make a deep playoff run, or you're looking at 1 good year and 4 bad, 4 once it failed.
Yeah, I caught the call, and one thing that I will contest is he says that, basically the good year, the 2024 year, was a blip on the radar, and then every other year was a bust. My problem with that is, and I know that this wouldn't make any of us satisfied, but if you take 9-3 and you multiply that by 100, you have the highest winning percentage of any program in history of college football. And secondly, a 10-2 year is only a bust for the last 4 or 5 years. Other than that, if we went 10-2 and had won the Rose Bowl, we would have been happy as pigs and you know what.
Liam, you're that's what I was thinking about writing that article based off Cryan's call-in. A lot of this has to do with framing and how and the Notre Dame nuance I always rant about that drives Mike nuts because it allows me wiggle room to argue both sides of everything. It drives Mike nuts when I pull that Notre Dame nuance. But first 2 years, a little leeway for a first-time head coach, a lot to change with the program. Understandable. Then you add last year, you could say we got screwed by the committee. You could do all that. But you could also look at it straight up and say you had 1 good year and the other 3 were not up. You didn't accomplish your goals. Are you going to allow that leeway, wash away the first 2 years because he's rebuilding or whatever? But it's all true. They didn't reach the goals. They've had 1 good year out of 3, and there's reasons for the other stuff that makes you feel like this is still in a good place. I understand all sides of it.
I think that my issue with calling other seasons a bust is that, okay, what's your definition of a successful season? Do you expect, do you think this is going to be like the 1920s and 30s Yankees, the 1930s, and you're going to win every single year? Because if that's the case, then a lot of every other season is a complete and utter failure.
Yeah.
And who are we comparing Freeman to? Are we talking about these are bust seasons compared to Bob Davie, compared to Willingham, compared to Charlie Weiss?
Yeah.
I mean, the problem that I have is I still get flashbacks of us getting destroyed by Northwestern and Navy. So
yeah. And the other thing that is hard is, how do you the eras have changed so much. Like it's, you want to gauge things overall, but how do you do that when you're in the playoff era and before? There's a lot of big changes here to kind of keep the constant measuring stable. I don't know, because we're in different times. So I don't know. Andrew says, how about compared to Indiana? I don't know. Andrew, I will say this. You got to give them credit. But Notre Dame is incapable of building the program the way Indiana did. That would never work in a million years here. We got to construct the program a different way. Notre Dame can never get 50 guys in the portal in one cycle. So you got to respect Indiana found a way to get this built and done. But Notre Dame's got to go about it a different way.
Compared to Indiana's history or compared to 1 year of Indiana? What are we talking about?
Yeah.
in that case, my favorite team is whoever just wins that year. And what's the point of being a fan? Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, that's right. I guess the problem, Indiana has won once, but you've got Notre Dame fans now. Obviously, they're on the older end now, but you've got Notre Dame fans that have seen a bunch of huge wins. And I think that to minimize the 3 huge bowl wins, the 3 college football playoff wins that Freeman got, those are that combined with that Clemson win during his first year. Those are probably 4 of Notre Dame, and the Texas A&M win also that year. Those are 5 of Notre Dame's biggest wins in the last 40 years.
Yeah. And it is also, Andrew says, the SIG Indiana. Liam, here's the problem. Sometimes I see people say, look at Signetti, 2 years at Indiana and he got it done or whatever. The guy's been coaching for 30 years though. That's not the same thing as a guy that's starting his career of comparing like the first 2 years of Indiana and the first 2 years of Marcus at Notre Dame when the other guy has 30 years of coaching experience. So like it's all a matter of perspective, but I'm with Andrew and crying on this one. There are no excuses this year. Denbrock, Freeman, Ash, deliver. It's year 5. You have all the advantages you could want. It's year 5. Deliver. And if they don't, the tune's going to change. Deliver.
The expectation every year is to win a national championship. I don't know why that didn't change from last year to this year. I expected them to win it last year, and I was disappointed when they didn't. But that's how most Notre Dame seasons end lately without a national championship.
Yeah.
And are they saying that they would trade Signetti for Freeman? They would rather have Signetti running in charge of the ship than Marcus Freeman?
You can't. I struggle with this. I gotta credit Signetti and Indiana for what they've done, but Notre Dame could never be built that way. So if Signetti was at Notre Dame, you still couldn't build it the way he did at Indiana, even if he was there and has experience. They made it work. You got to give them credit. They looked at the modern landscape and made it work for them, and they deserve credit for it. I don't know what else to say about that. I hate it, but I got to say it.
There's nothing bad that you can. There's nothing. It's difficult to critique a team that just won the national championship in convincing fashion.
Yeah.
And they were undefeated, right, in doing so. But the question remains: okay, so next year it's not Signetti. Are we just going to compare ourselves to another winning coach every year unless we win one?
Yeah. I'm just telling you. This year is put up or shut up for Freeman and Notre Dame, man. You don't want to be looking at a 1 successful year, 4 years of falling short. That starts to be a little bit of a body of evidence that's going to give some people some anxiety. You just got to deliver, man. You got to get off to a good start. No more September slip-ups, like none of that. If this team loses a game before BYU, this thing could all fall apart. You do not have the margin to even entertain the concept of that. It cannot be a thing.
I think they have to go undefeated. I don't think there can be a slip up at all. Even I don't think you can lose to Miami. And I know people are going to say, well, maybe 11-1 probably gets you in. But based on last year's opening day performance, you owe the fans a win against Miami, particularly if it's going to be home and it's in November. So why wouldn't you win that game?
Yeah. It's man, that should be high stakes. Whether both are undefeated, both have 1 loss, or maybe one of them has 2, like the playoff should be on the line for that. How would you feel both teams enter that undefeated? And then would you feel like, hey, man, maybe whoever loses is pretty safe here, and it's like a little bit of that's that cushion I'm talking about? Would you feel that way of like even the loser should feel like they're going to be in the tournament if they both enter undefeated?
Well, I don't care what happens to Miami if they lose. But if Notre Dame loses, no, I wouldn't assume that Notre Dame makes it. I thought that 10-2 would get us in. You're not in a conference. You're in a weaker schedule. You're not playing that extra conference championship game.
Yeah.
You're in a religious institution. No, they'll find a way to keep us out. Tariffs or something. I don't know. Something creative.
Yeah. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. So, Liam, I don't know, man. What I do know is I'm really excited to see spring football, just to see the newer roster and see these guys running around. I realize it's not going to be the full team. You have the O-line still recovering from. I realize all that. And then it's just going to be a long ass summer, Liam. There's no way around those dog days of summer I joke about. It is going to be, we're going to have to really stick together and entertain ourselves to get through this, because we're going to go insane all summer debating the same crap.
But you know what, John? That's a blessing. Always Irish as a family. We got different characters. We disagree with each other. And I think that we're really lucky to have this type of platform to be able to express ourselves.
Yeah. Hey, that's what we're here for. And I just love that you guys want to be a part of it.
I do have to ask a favor. Can you bring a step stool to the blue and gold game?
To get Dr. John up on the platform or what?
No, Renee keeps saying he's going to give me a flying elbow. I don't know how's he going to get that high. Yeah.
I like that. Yeah, we'll do that. And I got a little something special to deliver to Renee. So it's going to be we're going to have a fun time. Can't wait to be together and meet everybody. Hopefully we get good weather.
Okay. Thank you, Johnny. Have a great weekend.
Have a good one, Liam. Thanks for always being here. Bobo, Brian Kelly went undefeated 3 times. Mark is 0. Here's what I think is very fascinating. Very, very fascinating. There are so many strands of unquestioned truth that you could put out that no one could dispute, but that I would argue don't tell the full story. Brian Kelly went undefeated 3 times. Mark is 0. Totally correct. Marcus Freeman has won 3 major postseason games, and Brian Kelly won 0. So what do you value more? Multiple undefeated seasons that ended in humiliating blowouts, that where even though Notre Dame went 12-0, it ended the year with people saying they're nowhere close to a title level team. But he went undefeated 3 times. But every one of those ended in a blowout, and with people saying Notre Dame's not even near good enough to compete for a title. And I believe that based on what I saw. Marcus got to win out at home. You want to talk about getting tougher on Marcus Freeman? You gotta protect Notre Dame Stadium a little better, buddy. I'm with you on that. Nobody here's saying Freeman's perfect. What year did BK play in a 12-team playoff? None. But if we just get to pick the facts we want and ignore all the other ones, why don't I get to do it? He went undefeated 3 times, and Marcus, if we're going to play this semantics game where we're not looking at the big picture and how it all interplays, and we're just going to nitpick the little things we want to prove our point, then I'll lean on Freeman has won more major bowl games in a 3-week span than the whole program's won in 30 years. Do you value that or not? The other thing people need to realize here is Brian Kelly was not a likable person. That's another part of this. You always wanted him to win so Notre Dame would win, but he was not a likable person. And you know what else? He didn't like you either. So there was always this weird dynamic of he's running the program and I want him to win so that I'm not miserable. But there was always an undercurrent of, I don't think this guy likes us. There was always that undercurrent. You got the feeling he wanted to win for him, not for you. I don't know. Yeah, Sig seems like a sweetheart. Again, I'm still going to have trouble comparing a guy that's been head coach for 25 years and a guy that's in his first go around. I still have trouble making those on an equal plane of how we're looking at things. But I don't know nothing. What do I know? You know what I mean? Mark, good morning, brother.
Morning.
What's going on?
Well, I'm going to edit this down because I'm in a bad mood, but I'll get right to my points, but I love the objectivity the last couple days off of Crying Belly's call. I think you said you were going to address that today, and he made some good points. However, I think it's a little disingenuous to act like kind of we don't know what's going on and where we're at. In totality, the last couple years, just to kind of bring up some specifics to kind of take stock where we're at. This is 2 years we've been top 4 FPI at the end of the year and top 4 overall efficiencies. And these, I'm not going to bore you with all the printouts, but like if you look, it's Indiana, Ohio State, us, Oregon. It's the best teams. It's how it works. It's adjusted to strength of schedule. So Ken, I don't want to hear it. It flexes with the win probability and all that. So that's got nothing to do with it. For all intents and purposes, we've been one of the best teams the last 2 seasons. I think obviously the first 2 games last year are that poop stain on the bottom of the toilet that no matter how many times we flush it, it won't disappear. It's like our reference point towards everything, whether we're talking about Freeman or expectations or, and now, we're dismissing 2024 because of it and everything. So I think, I think we're kind of forgetting where we just were. I mean, we just had the 3rd or 4th best title odds before we got the playoff snub. And now, just this, last few days we're, questioning everything again. And only 3 teams have more wins than Marcus Freeman the last 3 seasons. And only 3 teams have played more ranked games in that time span. So I think, you can kind of look at that. It's not just 2024. And I think Georgia and Texas are the only 2 teams that have played more ranks. So I think having said that, like this is the pivotal year. I totally get the Crying Belly argument and concern. Obviously, this it remains to be seen, but to act like shit hasn't been sweet the last couple of years, especially like you were referring to the previous couple decades, and so yeah, that's just kind of what I wanted to say. I get what he means, but I also think you can't just like boil that down to that one single season. And we're all aware of like kind of the concerns and struggles they've had, but we also have to remember, like, we're all aware what time it is. And and so yeah, just that's basically it. I think I think these kind of go in cycles, and it's kind of like this auto correction where we've been kind of talking ourselves up for a while. So let's start being over objective and over analyzing and stuff. But it's all over the chat. There's no excuse. This is a year and everything. But yeah, that's pretty much it.
Yeah, man. Mark, those dog days of summer, everybody gives me a hard time about. This is going to be a long grind because like we are like, we're going to have this pleasant distraction of spring ball. And then this summer is going to be a long grind because this is a unique setup to a year with Lou and all the stuff we're talking about. There you go. Look at the dog. The dogs.
Look at this. Yeah, that's all I got.
Have a good one. Is that dog stuffed? See ya, Mark. Kent. Ryan Day is the comparison. Marcus took over a top 10 team in the nation and was the first-time head coach, just like Ryan Day. After being an assistant, me personally, I'll give them the same amount of time. that's actually probably a really good 1-to-1 looking at the pro, even though Ohio State's been at a higher level than Notre Dame for much longer. It's a pretty good one. Yeah, that's pretty good. How long we going today? Not much longer, Brendan. I got stuff I got to do. Renee!
To be on. Hold on, bro. Hey, you know what? They make good points. They make good points. Sorry, I wasn't trying to get on. I was just listening. But here, bro, if you change the culture on things, it gets tough because hopefully what I'm trying to say right now will make a point here. Hold on, let me change this. I got with this new company about a year ago, right? And these dudes were used to doing things a certain way. And I told them, get me this saw. Give me this 20-inch saw, man. Because you're over there breaking your backs with a stupid ass little 16-inch quickie saw. You're making the guys work double harder. You're like, look how much I'm advancing for you guys, man. Like, and that's just me, one dude. The reason why I say that, as far as with with Andrew and the Indiana thing, when the dude that's running the show won't take no advice from nobody because he brings in all his dudes that he knows, his friends, his buddies, and they just go off what he says. They won't take no one else's advice. They won't take no one else's experience. I'm like, hey, dude, you know what? I'm gonna do it my way, and I'm gonna show you that it's better. I'm gonna show you that it's just that much more, if not more efficient. And when you're stuck in a culture like Brian Kelly was, where it's just about himself for 12 years, and Kent's 100% right. He's not the comparison. He's not. I've said this over and over and over and over. In the old format, he would have won the national title. That would have been three major. Indiana, the first bowl game, the second bowl game, and the national title. That would have been, and he would have done in 1 year what Brian Kelly couldn't do in 12. So this whole that whole conversation with that dude is a wash. I didn't disagree with Crying Belly or Andrew about showing up, and the guys are showing up because, truth be told, I've had the discussions and disagreements with him. Who on our roster is elite? And we can say CJ, we can say these guys. I would say Don Shooter and KVA. You know what I mean? And I know people give me pushback on the CJ Card thing. It's not that I dislike him. It's that I didn't like his decisions made in that game. And people say it's a freshman. I don't care. You were leading the scout team against the number one defensive backs in the country for 2 years. Don't give me that shit. I've coached. Don't give me that shit. Okay? Like, you're not fooling me. So everybody, I get it. Everybody has plans to get punched in the mouth. I get it. But like Crying Belly made some points, and as far as who's elite other than KVA and Don Schuler, and I told him I thought Junior was, and even the one kid, Heinisch, and he said, how could you say that? And I'm like, because they showed up against an elite team like Georgia. That's why. That's why they didn't just beat a Georgia team. They kicked the shit out of them. Anyways, John, but that's all I wanted to say was when you have the right guy in the right place, the culture will change. And because people didn't like Brian Kelly, you know what I mean? People won't invest. People won't invest money. They won't invest time. They won't invest emotion. And my trade is an example of that, man. It's just like I told you, like, why are we gonna come here bust our ass if this dude doesn't listen to us, or he's just favoring certain people, and it takes one dude to change the whole thing, the whole trajectory of it. You know what I mean? But yeah, brother, that's all I wanted to say. You know what I mean? There's good points on all sides. And you made the best point. We're not Indiana. We're not. Like, and I've told everybody this. I've told them, when you take a month off, you should be rested for that last month of the playoffs like he had. You took a month off with 3 junior high teams. I'm sorry, dude. I'm sorry. But like I tell you, my 30,000 town people, population, 30 people, 1,000 town, me and Coach Val live in, doesn't have the resources that Oregon or Ohio State or Notre Dame or Miami do. They don't. You know what I mean? They just don't. So with that being said, John, hey, I didn't want to really get on, but You guys all make good points. Hey, how about that bearded guy? How about that beard? He has a way better one than mine. Look at this one. Look like a damn rat nest.
Hey, have
What's
a
up?
good day at work, man. Be safe out there. We'll see you in a few weeks.
Onward Notre Dame, buddy.
Have a good one. Oh, man, I got something so clever to give him at the tailgate. I'm really excited about it. Somebody said, Johnny, in my lunchbox at work. Whatever happened to that guy? Whatever happened to that guy? Was it just a one-time thing? The guy that was going to fight his coworker, Gary, in the lunch cafeteria? Johnny, in my lunchbox at work. 559. Let's go from one working man site to another.
Hey, what's up, John? I'm sorry, man. Let me give me a quick minute, bruh.
What's going on?
Man, you already know. Ahí está viendo. Ahí está. All right. Yeah, John, real quick. You know, I wasn't gonna call until you said if you follow that advice. What was that advice that you said that it was such a bad one? Got it? Live life once, or live every day to if it was like your last or something like that.
Yeah.
Well, I have a better one for you. So my stupid ass, I'm letting you know that right now. When I start thinking like that, I got myself with DUI. So I feel you on that one. That one's what made me call your show because I used to say YOLO, you only live once. And I sure did live only once. You know what I mean? I got myself caught up and sent to prison for that.
Yeah, it's I struggle with that, man. If you tell me to live every day like it's my last, I'm gonna make some poor, risky decisions.
Yes, sir. That is absolutely very, very true. That's why, like like I said, all you guys were a blessing to me. All of you, your show, everybody that I've met, people that I've encountered. Like, I mean, you guys have been completely one of the things that have been truly unique, and the relationships that I've developed through your show and my sobriety. And I'm very proud of that, guys. You know, like 4 years. Like, come on, bruh. It's hard sometimes, but you know what? I got my 5-hour energy drinks. I got Notre Dame football to talk about. And we're planning to kick some ass because Notre Dame's going to win the national championship. So all y'all need to get ready because it's go time, my boy. Just like I am right now. It's go time. All y'all be ready for belt to ass season.
Dude, you guys are the best, man. You are good multitaskers, you and Renee.
Absolutely, bro. Like, hey, championship don't win just by looking cute. Championship is by doing all the hard work, just like we do all day, every day over here, my boy. We show people how to make stuff and get stuff done. And if you don't put in the time and effort and the emotion to this team, you're never gonna reach to what you want to reach to. So I gotta get going, John. I just want to let y'all know how about that model, my boy. 2026, leave no fucking doubt.
Telling you. How do we get Renee and Luis on the same crew? It looks like they're doing the similar stuff. How do we get Luis and Renee on the same construction crew? I really think that would be a company you want to work for, man. Oh, boy. All right. He's donated a lot. And he's going to end the show. I only got a couple minutes left, Caden. Thank you for all the donations.
Hey, John, how you doing, my friend?
I'm doing good. I got a couple minutes left. I wanted to give them to you. What's on your mind?
Well, first of all, I had a Lou Holt story that I thought was pretty interesting. This is in regards to a family member who passed away about a year after I was born, who was almost a Notre Dame recruit, fun fact, at Notre Dame. My late uncle, Sherman Howland, played for my alma mater high school back in the late mid-'80s. And this was like the era of the Catholics versus the convicts, you know, Cops theme song for Miami, you know, the bad boys from Miami.
Yeah.
Jimmy Johnson knew my uncle and he heard about my uncle. And so Jimmy Johnson wrote him a handwritten letter and sent him a whole bunch of gear in a box to his address, Miami. Brought him down and he went around, and then the news spread about him going to Miami, him being part of the convicts, because that's how they played high school football here at the local high school where I live out here in the middle of nowhere, south of Columbus, where they beat the hell out of everybody, which, I mean, that's a whole bunch of redneck kids that beat the hell out of everybody. But then yes, Lou Holtz reached out to him, and Lou Holtz is like, why go be a convict when you can be a great player at Notre Dame? And Lou Holtz tells him, like, you know, I get, like, you know, you're a guy that likes to play a certain way, but at my way, I don't take no shit from anybody, and I don't take bullshit from anybody. But my uncle later got back into the trade of becoming a diesel mechanic, and then worked on trailers for the last, you know, whatever years of his life before he died of a heart attack. It was a year after I was born, so I guess I'll never know if my uncle would be a convict or would be part of one of the greatest coaches teams of all time. And I said it in a super chat, John, pull that last super chat up. The Irish just need to shut up and fight, but at the same time, they need to remember who the hell they are. This is the same team that Lou Holtz brought out of irrelevancy and worked the hell out of those guys, because that's what kind of man Lou Holtz was. Excellence, and he was disciplined. Now, Notre Dame, I bet you Lou Holtz right now, if he were to walk into Notre Dame right now, would slap the piss out of everyone and tell them, get your asses straight and shut up and start kicking everybody's ass. I guarantee you that. Now, this is coming from an Ohio State fan. You have to remember, John, we're not supposed to be speaking to each other. But you know what? I told Eric and Chris they can go fuck themselves, and Eric can go kiss Chris's ass. But
Man,
you know what? That's fine. That's fine.
Crew here on this Friday. I don't know what. We got a lively group here today.
But you know what? It's fine, John. It's fine. Eric telling me to get the hell out. I was like, that's fine. Y'all can go fuck yourselves. You know, because I prefer to be the outlaw, the bad boy. I prefer being the baddest SOB on this planet. And that's who the hell I am.
What's your profanity?
Yeah.
So, you know, John, you know, working on farm equipment, my buddy's lawn equipment, and then obviously my buddy's dealer gets me some cool gear that I have the privilege of being friends with. I pay for my gear from their dealership that I get for buying parts, but I tell the family it's no big freaking deal, because I'm like, I get paid $30 a freaking hour just working for my boss, and he's a good guy. So what can I complain about? I get free meals. I get free gas. So what am I supposed to tell him?
Yeah, man. I don't know. This is I don't know, but this is quite the adventure you're taking me on.
But you know what, John? I'm gonna say this. Notre Dame, like after Lou had passed away suddenly, and I feel like this is the year Notre Dame is gonna step their A game up. And it's really going to show what Notre Dame is truly made out of. And that's just some fighting bad SOBs. And I know that. Renee, Luis, somebody needs to get them two together and start just renting up the team's locker room up there with Coach Holtz. Because I guarantee you, Coach Holtz would love Luis and Renee if he was here. I guarantee you, he'd tell them, get over there and start getting them boys' asses straight and start slapping the piss out of them boys and start, woo-wee. Imagine how much fire would be up in that locker room at Notre Dame, because I only wouldn't imagine. But you know what, John? I just came up in here just to, you know, say rest in peace, Lou Holtz, you know, a great student of Woody Hayes, who I'm a big fan of. And we need, and I wish that his coaching style was back here at Ohio State. But you know what? It is what it is. The NCAA is full of cowards and pissheads, and they don't like hard-hitting football, but that's fine because they're a bunch of pissheads.
Yeah.
So,
hey, Caden, thanks a lot, man. Thank you for the donations. I really mean that. And thank you for the kind words about Lou. Be safe out there. I know you're working with your hands. Be safe. Have a good weekend. Okay, buddy?
hey, John, you take care. And I'll say this for you, since Eric decided to say screw off. Go Irish for you, John. Go Irish.
There you go. Thanks a lot, man. Ooh, that's a lot, you guys. It's just a lot. I never know. I just never know where we're turning. It's just a lot. I wasn't expecting this wild of an adventure on a Friday. One more thing. Somebody put in the chat, John, tell me it's not true that Notre Dame could never go back to grass. It was Swanky that asked that. Here's where I got that from. The grounds guys that I'm friends with, the guys that let me go on the field when I'm in town and let me in the gate and the locker, the grounds crew, we were talking to them about it, and they said that is over. When they rebuilt the stadium and made it bigger with the crossroads and all the big structures, they would not, in Indiana, would not be able to get the sun, shade, moisture, sunny combo needed to grow the grass the right way anymore. Those days are over. It's over. And you know they're damn well not going to tear down the stadium to be able to put real grass in. But those guys told me it's all over. You can't get the sunshade angles you need for the right amount of time to make that grass grow now. So this is what you're stuck with. You know what it made me, what I thought of though? I put a clip up of the Penn State Snow Bowl in 92 on Twitter and on Facebook the other day. And it made me remember how cool I liked the mud and the dirt and the jerseys being dirty. And you could really tell who was getting down and dirty by who was all muddy and the turf kicking up, big chunks of turf, mud everywhere. And I miss that from Notre Dame sometimes. You could get it on the road sometimes. But there's something about that blue and gold at home getting all dirty and having the mud and the snow and the mess and the turf and everything. Man, it was just, those were the days. Those were the days. And so now I just think you're not getting that. You're not getting that. So you give up some things, you gain some other things. That's the way it goes. All right, you guys, I got some stuff I got to go do. Really lively show today. Really lively show. Really appreciate it from you guys. And then who knows what I'll come up with when I'm in Florida. There's always something. Who knows? But we still got, I'll be able to do the Wednesday morning show next week. And then I think we leave Thursday morning. And I'll make sure we have a lot of stuff. Thanks for being here. Thanks for donating. Thank you guys for being involved even in the off season. You guys are what allows me to do this stuff year round. Thanks for the support. Have a good one.